for the one problem. Draw the diagram of a sphere of weight W resting on a frictional-less plane surface. So we need to draw the free body diagram, and he has taken one sphere and resting on the frictional plane. So this is going to be your frictionless plane, and the sphere is going to be acted over here. So then we need to draw the free body diagram. If you want to draw the free body diagram, we need to remember the free body diagram definition. So we need to remove all the supports, and we have to show with the reaction forces. In this case, what will happen? So if I am going to remove the surface A, so then what will happen? The body is going to be trying to fall from the position. We need to keep that body in the same equilibrium position. So then we need to apply the reaction force RA. So that means here RA is going to be the force which restrict the motion of a body in the downward direction. Then in this case, RA is equal to the self weight of the body. If it is not equal, then automatically the body is going to be moving in the downward direction, and they are going to be in the equilibrium position, means the magnitude must be same. At the same time, they must be existed in the collinear direction. Then we can say the system is in the equilibrium condition. So here is the another problem we are going to be talking. In this case, we too have taken a bar AB, the name of a weight W, where it is going to be acting at this center, is hinged at A. That means bar one end is A, another end is the B. One end A is going to be fixed in the wall and is supported in a vertical plane by a string. So that means that another point is going to be there. They are going to be connected the string to the point D. From the D to B, it is connected with the string as shown in figure. Draw the free body diagram for this part. So in this case, the first I have taken a vertical wall or vertical plane, and this is the prism, one bar we do have taken A and B. So then in this case, what will happen? A is going to be fixed in the vertical wall, and the B we kept in the little inclinedly, and the string was connected to the vertical wall to the end of the bar B. So then that is the string. So now we need to draw the free body diagrams in this case. If I am going to be cut the string, then what will happen? The AB bar is going to be fall in the downward direction. That's we can see here the self weight already is acting. So then in this case, I remove the string, then what will happen? That body is going to be trying to fall in the downward direction. But if you want to keep in the same positions, then I am going to be applying the reaction forces from that. I am removing all the supports, the wall as well as the string that I am going to show. The first is going to be the self weight is going to be acting in the downward direction, and the string tension is going to be acting in this direction. Then what is the reaction force at A? Because in this case, the reaction force is going to be acting at inclinedly. We don't know exactly, because it is hinged means we do have a X force, Y force, and the combinedly it is called the reaction force is acting at A. So then what I am going to do, I am going to be extending the line of action of the weight in the upward direction. Suppose in this case I was applied, next I was applied the line of action from the tension BD. So then what will happen? I am going to take to pass that intersecting point, I am going to call as a O. From that O, I am going to make it to pass through the point A. That is going to be called line of action of RA. So then RA is going to be acting vertically upward direction. Then we can say these all the points are going to be passing to the concurrent, then the system is going to be in the equilibrium condition. So in this case, the next problem here, the two similar spheres P and Q each of weight W rest inside a hollow cylinder. Means here we do have a two spheres P and Q have the weights W, and that they are rested in the hollow cylinder which is resting on the horizontal plane. Draw the free body diagram of both the spheres taken together, the sphere P separately and sphere Q separately. So then in this case, what I am going to do, I am going to be taking the cylinder. Already he told that open cylinder, that means the hollow cylinder I have taken, and the left side wall I am going to say A, the bottom of that cylinder is going to be B, and the right side is going to be called C. So then I am going to be inserting the two spheres inside this one, that's going to be the P, and it has its own center, right? And similarly the ball Q is going to be kept, that means in the cylinder. So then that is going to be the Q, it has the center, and you can see the ball P is going to be having contact with the wall at A and the wall B at and similarly the Q is going to be contact with the ball P as well, sorry, that sphere P and the wall C. So what will happen in this case? So there is a contact between the P and Q is going to be called the D. So then I'm going to be draw for the first condition. We need to draw the free body diagram when these two spheres are going to be together. So then first I'm going to be draw the ball that is the sphere P, and then I have taken C. As we know that the self-weight is going to be always acting in the downward direction. The first force I have taken in the downward direction. So then what will happen? I remove the wall A, right? I remove the wall B. So then the reaction forces are coming in the same point of line of action. In this case, RA, always we know that when a ball is going to be contact with the vertical plane, the reaction force always normally to the contact point we are telling that is going to be passing to the center of C1. And similarly from the B also there is a reaction force is going to be acting in the upward direction. So then the next one, the sphere Q I have taken, and then what forces we removed at the wall C. So then there is a reaction force in this one. C2 is the center and the self-weight acting in the downward direction, and from the point C it is very clear that it is going to be acting towards the right side. So that is also normally to this one, and there is going to be a line of action we have taken between the two centers. In this case what will happen? RA, W and RB is passing to the point of C1, and similarly the C2, W and RC is going to be passing to the same point. If you remove any, if you are not going to be show any of these reaction forces, automatically the system is not in the equilibrium condition. The next we can see that is going to be the sphere P, how it is going to be in the equilibrium condition. So in this case the P we do have taken, so then it has the self weight is acting in the downward direction. At the same time there is a reaction force from the right side of the wall, RA is coming, and similarly RB force is going to be coming from the bottom of the cylinder. And the same time we have removed the contact of the Q. That means the exerting force we are going to be show here with the RDQ. So then the line of action is going to be passing through this one. Whatever the forces are there, now it is passing to the component, the point of application, then the system is in the equilibrium condition. So then I am going to be taking the sphere Q. So in this sphere Q what will happen? It has the two contacts. One, the self weight is there. One contact with the sphere P, another contact with the point C. So then what will happen? You can see this is the Q. Then the weight is going to be acting in the downward direction. Then it is going to be coming, the RC from the right side wall is going to be the reaction force, and this is going to be the line of action. So then there is a RDP is going to be coming, that is from the force exerted by the P on the Q. It is then the line of action is going to be in this way. So then the body is in the equilibrium condition. So then in this case what will happen? The reaction developed on the P because of the sphere Q, that is equal to the reaction developed on the Q because of the P, that is equal to R. Then this RDP is equal to RDQ, that we can go with the R itself. So next, the tension in the string. In the tension in the string, what will happen in this case? Can you see there is going to be a string is there. I haven't attached any mass to this one. So then what will happen in this case? I attached the mass. It is very clear that the string is going to be trying to elongating the downward direction because of the self weight of the mass. So then the tensions are going to be developing. In this case it's going to be showing in this way. The tension T is going to be, this is going to be your internal system. That means internal force. If you cut the wire, so then we can say that is going to be T itself is going to be the external force. Then the magnitude of the T tension is equal to the self weight W. And in this case, and the tension in the rope. So similarly, the tension in the string, the rope also we are getting the same way. I have taken here one hardened surface and the two masses W1 and W2 we have taken, and then it is connected to pulley and one mass is going to be attached at the down. So then what will happen? Because of the W, then it is trying to move W1 and W2 in the rightward direction. So then, and this W is going to be moving in the downward direction. So then in this case, what are the tensions are going to be developing, we can see here. So that's going to be tension is developing between W1 and W2 masses. Similarly, the T2 is going to be developing between the pulley and it means the string from weight mass 2 to weight applied. In this case, the T2 also going to be developing here. That's going to be the same tension is going to be the equal at the top and the bottom of the pulleys. And the tension in the rope. So in this case, I have taken the two sides of the walls and the two planes I have taken A and B. I was tied with the rope like this, and then the weight is going to be acted. Now, can you draw the free body diagram for this one? And it means that what are the forces are going to be generating? This weight is going to be trying to pull in the downward direction, and the strings are going to be pulling in the upward direction. So that's I am going to be show here. One is going to be developing the tension. In this case is the T1, and another wing is going to be right side wing is going to be the T2, and above is going to be the T2 or T3. The tension is going to be developing in this case. So next, the tension in the rope. So I have taken another kind of the rope over here. So then what will happen? In this case, I have taken the rope A to B is going to be the same rope I have taken, and another rope is going to be connected from the pulley center to the downward where the mass is going to be loaded. So then in this case, what will happen? So then the tensions are going to be developing. In this case, they are going to be T1 in the upward and downward direction. That depends on the movement of the strings. And next one T2 is going to be developing, and here the T3 force is going to be generating at the weight between the weight and the pulley string. So then, so the tension in the belt we are going to. So in this case, what will happen? I have taken the two pulleys and loaded with the belt. So then what will happen? In this case, I am going to be cutting the belt at the cross section. Then what will happen? The tension developing in the top belt is going to be T1, and the bottom part of the belt is going to be the T2. So then this is the way the tensions are a bit generating. And the tensions in the rope we can take here. So here I have a pulley which is going to be rotating in the counterclockwise direction. The mass is going to be attached to W1 and the mass 2 is going to be attached. In this case, what will happen? The W2 is going to be in the upward direction. W1 is going to be moving in the downward direction. So then what is the tension we are going to be generating in that string that we need to tell? In this case, we can consider the mass of the pulley also. So then the tension T2 is going to be developing. The T1 tension is going to be developing towards the left side of the mass. So next, the representation of axial forces in the bar. So in this case, what will happen? So in this case, so I have taken a bar and AB, I am going to say end AB. So then if the bar is in equilibrium, these forces must be collinear with the geometric axis of the bar. And this bar is a two force member in equilibrium. So then in this case, I have in a bar AB, force F, one end is acting at A, another end also the same magnitude, and they existed in the. So then I made it the cross section